Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour Friday night. How is it going? Welcome to the show. Did I say Friday night? Wednesday night. I'm so used to saying Friday night that I accidentally said Friday night when in fact it is Wednesday. I wish it was Friday, but it's not. It's Wednesday. Either way, welcome, everybody. It is great to be here. It is great to see you. It has been a crazy, crazy, crazy work week. I am so tired. I don't drink coffee at night because I don't want to stay up all night, but I made my own kind of little thing here. I didn't want it to be too strong, so I actually put vanilla ice cream in it and a little bit of chocolate syrup, and then coffee and a little bit of whipped cream. I don't know what I did, but yeah, I just didn't want to fall asleep, and I wanted to be energetic, and I don't want to stay up all night, so that was my compromise. So the best thing, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just improvising as I go, just like you guys are too. We're all improvising. Anyway, how's it going, you guys? Thank you for coming on. I'm very excited for tonight's show. We have a great show for you this evening. And before we get into that, just a few announcements, a few housekeeping things to get into. First of all, if you guys know the drill, if you're buying your toys through Entertainment Earth, make sure you use promo code Victoria. That'll get you an extra 10% off your in-stock purchase. Right now, things are expensive, and they may continue to get expensive. So every little bit we can save helps. 10% off your in-stock purchase on entertainmentearth.com. Secondly, next week, Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars, comes out in theaters, re-releasing, and tickets are now available. So I just wanted to mention that if you haven't gotten your ticket to see Revenge of the Sith, back after 20 years, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It is back. And in addition to that, next Friday, little bit of a time shift. We will be on next Friday, 4/25, April 25th, at 7 p.m. instead of 6:30. Now, why is that? Well, I just mentioned Revenge of the Sith back in theaters. Okay, I have a ticket, but I don't want to be late for the show either. So I said, hey, let's just delay it back 30 minutes. So that's what I did. So we're going to be on at 7 p.m. Pacific time, of course, next Friday, next week. And as a reminder, there's no show this Friday, and that is why we're doing the Wednesday show tonight. So also, last thing, Star Wars Celebration is about to be underway in Japan, and I'm very, very, very excited for all the reveals we may see. I want to let you guys know that our pal Jason, the Kiwi man, who we've had on the show multiple times, he's going to be at the convention, and he is representing VC at the convention. So even though I'm not there, Jason will be there, and I believe he's there already. And he'll be covering and getting us some photos. And I look forward to having him on the show afterwards, so we can talk about everything he saw and everything he did, and talk about any potential new reveals for Star Wars, regardless of the manufacturer, but especially, we're focused on our TVC collections, right? We're really looking at our TVC collections right now. So yeah, exciting times, very exciting times. As for this evening, you guys, we're going to be talking in just a few minutes we're going to be talking to Nick from Randimals. I'm very, very excited to have Nick on. Nick is the creator and co-founder of Randimals. And then a little bit later in the show, we're going to be talking to our friend, the Imperial Communique, here on Social Hour, a little bit later this evening. So lots to talk about, lots to discuss. I want to see who's in the chat. Who's in the chat with us tonight, Friday night? I said it again. I'm so used to saying Friday. It's going to be really hard to stop. I'm going to keep doing it. I know it's not going to be the last time. All right. Dodgson is with us. Hello, Dodgson. How are you? Happy Wednesday to you. We got David Matthews with us. Hello, David. Good to see you as always. We got our moderator in the house. Hello, Adam. Thank you for moderating and for keeping things nice and organized in the chat. We appreciate it. Our favorite bouncer indeed. Nice. Got Rick in the house. Hello, Rick. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. We got Jason. Hello, Jason. Good to see you. Of course. No name. Does anyone think that we'll have to pay additional money on the Cantina HasLab because of tariffs? No, I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think so, but maybe we'll have a little more clarity in the near future. Let's see here. Imperial Communique is with us. Awesome. Looking forward to talking to you, my friend, in just a little bit. Allison is with us. Hello, Allison. We got Jeff Russell with us. Hey, Jeff. Our friend Britt is with us. Hey, Britt, we missed you last Friday. It's good to see you tonight. Rick says that he got his tickets for Revenge of the Sith. Very nice. 12-year-old is so excited. Episode 3 is his favorite. Very nice. It might be my favorite. I don't know. I go back and forth. We got Luke. Hello, Luke. Hello, Mary. Good to see you. Trevor is with us. 22 is with us. Cool, you guys. I say let's go ahead and get things started. All right. We're going to go ahead and kick things off here with our very first guest this evening, welcoming him into the show. All right, here we go.
So the fun begins.
All right, so welcoming in the creator and co-founder of Randimals, we have Nick from Randimals with us this evening. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Victoria. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm really excited to talk about Randimals tonight.
I am excited to share Randimals with you and anyone else on your stream also.
Thank you. I love it. Now, you know, Randimals is something I discovered last year. I got a kick out of the concept when I found out about him. I did a stream, and part of the stream I was talking about Randimals and showing pictures to the audience. And I was like, you know, how cool would it be if we found the creator of Randimals and got them on the show? And well, here you are.
Oh, well, I thank you for the opportunity. This is only my second ever podcast, so fingers crossed.
Nice. So Nick, tell us a little bit about your personal history with toys. Did you grow up with a lot of toys? Is it something you got into a little bit later? What is your personal history and connection with toys?
I think you have definitely put me in the category of getting into toys later. I'm 56 on a Friday. You kept telling me that it was a Friday today, and I kept wondering if it was my birthday already. But no, I think I probably have been on a 40-year hiatus on toys, and since I was a kid, and during COVID, my friend and I had a crazy idea to start a toy company. I had no previous experience in the toy industry, no experience whatsoever. I've worked in a number of startups before. I've always been a tinkering entrepreneur, and the idea to come up with a toy company based on combination animals came to us one night at the very beginning of COVID. And the job that I had at that time, I was told that I was basically going to have a year off. And so it seemed like a perfect opportunity to see what we could do. We'd had the idea back in 2013, but at the time we didn't have the money, the bandwidth, the knowledge, or the confidence to be able to do it. And COVID presented a silver lining for us to take a stab at it.
Nice. I love that. I always love learning the genesis of different concepts and toy companies. So with Randimals, what was the thought process like? Like when you thought, hey, let's combine, instead of just doing like a shark or doing a horse or doing, a dog, what was the genesis of the thought of like, let's combine these animals and do something that nobody else is doing?
Yeah, I think I would say one of the inspirations was my dog Ollie. He was part Basset and part Lab, and he's no longer with us, but he lives on in Randimals. He definitely had both personalities. He had the lovingness of a Lab and the real stubbornness of a Basset. And he was, I think, people would stop him in the street and they would be very quizzical about what breed of dog he was. He was very unusual looking. He was the stature of a Basset, but he had a very cool personality, and that was the inspiration for coming up with combining different dogs to start with, and then it sort of spread from there. And we didn't want to just create very quickly. We didn't want to create just a company with just plushies and hard toys. We wanted to actually see if we could come up with something a bit more meaningful. And so during those early days of coming up with, this was the first one that we did. This is our Hork. And during those early days, we 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 sort of started to develop the kernel of the idea that they're different, and we latched onto this word different. And that later became the sort of the DNA of our brand and our message, which is what makes us different, makes all the difference in the world. And so at the same time that we were developing Randimals, we were also working on the sort of fictitious origin story of the Randimals. That's my dog Ollie, and he was always one for
Huh.
chewing toys, very much a toy chewer. And my wife's daughter was, loved Toy Story, as we all do. And she used to say all the time, I don't think Sid was such a bad guy. I don't think he was a bad boy. I think he was, misunderstood. And so this idea of a sort of a Sid redemption story in our head started to form, that he grew up and he was a creative genius. He worked in an advertising agency and he had a daughter that used to destroy her toys too. And that was the idea of where it came from. In the book, Ollie ends up chewing all of her toys. They get, in bits and pieces. And we ended up, if I have the prop here somewhere, well, I don't have it with me. But yes, she finds a way to put them back together again, and they go off on this adventure to a toy store. And the other toys are a bit mean to the Randimals because they look a little bit different. And then we developed this character, Ellarilla. She's the elephant and gorilla, and she teaches the Randimals this message: what makes us different makes all the difference in the world. So we were developing the story and the toys sort of simultaneously, which is really really nice because it had a lot more meaning to us to it.
I love that. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. That is a great. That's a great line.
Yeah, it's we wrestled with that quite a bit. When we showed kids, when we showed adults, when we showed our friends some of these toys. This is B-Rex. People would say, "Ooh, yeah." Well, especially when it came to like the Hork and Ellarilla, they would say those are really different, and they would sort of recoil a little bit and thought we were mad. As did the factory that we tried to get these made in. We had to go through several factories. They'd all made sharks and horses and bees and dinosaurs, but they'd never combined them. And so it took a little bit of convincing. But kids, they see through difference. When they see something that's awesome, they just express that it's awesome, and they don't see difference through that type of a lens. And so that was part of the inspiration too, to capture that innocence of just seeing something for what it is. And we often say that difference is our superpower.
Absolutely.
Show. And we take that on the road. It's sort of, I like to call it sort of part Sesame Street and part TED Talks, because kids love they want to learn how we made these toys and how they came to be. And so we do this wonderful show that tries to reenact the book and also have the kids up on stage to create their own Randimals. And we ask kids to submit their own. This one was last year's winner. This is Jertle, and it's part giraffe and part Jertle. And a little boy in Chicago, 8 years old, designed it.
That's great. That's great. That's really cool. You guys get the consumer base to participate in that kind of a thing. That's awesome.
Oh, it's tremendous to involve kids. It's so inspiring when we go to schools and we do an unboxing to start with. So we have a big box of the toys and they pull them out. First of all, they have to guess what creatures they are made of. Then secondarily, this is B-Rex. Secondarily, they have to talk about the personalities of the Randimals. And kids are so inquisitive. And that's why we did a second book, which goes into all of their personalities and characteristics. And we like to imbue these characters with personalities that aren't necessarily aligned with how you might think they are. For instance, the E-Guard is an eagle and a leopard, and you would think that's the most awesome combination, of two creatures, fast and power. But E-Guard has a lot of imposter syndrome, as I do, and is not confident. And so we tried to, switch it up a bit and give characteristics to the Randimals that you wouldn't necessarily expect, because you can't, judge a book by its cover.
Right, definitely. Now that's great. I love that these have a backstory, right? It's not just that the toys exist. There's actually a backstory and there's a background to them. That's really cool, and that makes me more interested in any kind of a product. So, kudos to you for everything you've built with Randimals and for turning into the brand that it is. Now there is another topic that's a little less glamorous, but nonetheless one that I know you feel is important, and we do too here in the Cantina. You posted a video recently of the effects that the tariffs could be having or are having on your company. And I wonder if you'll share a little bit about that impact. What are the tariffs doing to like a small business like yourself?
Yeah, I mean they're unfolding day by day, and yeah, I'm putting on a brave face and a happy face for the show and for people watching. But we're actually we're very worried. We and sad. My partner and I, we haven't taken a salary for 5 years. We haven't taken any money out of Randimals. All we have done is put the money back in to keep investing in more and more inventory because numerous times we've run out of product when a viral post has gone off, and it's tragedy to have that much demand, but yet not the product to be able to sell. So we poured everything into our inventory, and we were supposed to receive our biggest shipment to date. It was supposed to set sail last week, and then the tariffs started to come down the pike 10%, 20%, 50%, 125%, and finally it landed on 145%. And a lot of people, I talked to a lot of friends, and they've heard that in the news. They know they hear the numbers 145%, but it's only when I really start to explain to them what that means for companies like ours and small businesses that they really see the effect of what it's going to have on small businesses. And then down the line, very soon, the effect that it's going to have on them and their buying power from toy stores. To put it into some context, we have $100,000 worth of product sitting overseas to bring in to the States to replenish our inventory. But in order to bring that product of $100,000 in, we would have to cut a check to the customs for $145,000. Obviously, that's not possible. We don't have the cash, and if we did have the cash, it would be asinine to do that because the price of the product would make it probably unsellable. And then we have to order this month for Christmas, which is our biggest order that we place every year. And as you probably know, Christmas is 80% of a toy company's revenue. So it's very possible that we will not be able to place that order for Christmas. And so our business is going to come to a grinding halt. So inventory that we currently have is obviously tariff free because it came in before. But you will start to see in toy stores as people receive new inventory, if they even do bring it in, those prices are going to go up if the owners of the stores or the companies that are providing them layer on that tariff, and I don't see how they can't.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I love that you're explaining it that way. Because you're, like you said, in the news, you hear the numbers, but you're in the middle of it and you're able to relay, what that impact is to you personally with your company.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm really glad that you posted that video and that you're sharing that with our audience here because I mean it's not just something out there that doesn't affect, it affects people, right? It affects you, it affects consumers, and it could potentially, it sounds like, have negative consequences on Randimals.
it definitely will. The intent, we are told, is to bring manufacturing back to the United States. The jury is out on whether that is feasible. Economists will say it's going to take a number of years, if it's at all possible. It's going to take complete rerouting of supply chains, and it's going to take a lot of money. The part that I find just really, really hard, and if I scroll through TikTok all the time looking for fellow small business people, and they're everywhere, and they all have the same message. And that's that we feel like we've had this just imposed on us out of the blue, and we had no time to react. We are caught through no fault of our own in the crosshairs of a global trade war. And how are we to know that this was going to come down? And we ordered this product, 3 months ago, and it just seems so unfair to essentially, they're going to close our business because we can't bring this inventory in. There's nothing we can do about it. So unless something changes, it's really dire for lots of small businesses that rely on products that cannot be made here. We tried
Mhm.
in the very beginning. We were very naive. Like I said, we'd never had any experience in making toys before, And so we started calling and looking for plush companies in the United States. I remember 5 years ago, we found a couple. They seemed small and few and far between, and the prices we wouldn't have been able to have put out the product, at a reasonable price if we had gone there, nor the volumes now that we're doing. Out of curiosity, I called one company I found back east that claimed to make plush toys, and I asked what the lead times were, and they candidly said 1 year. So that's not really realistic. A year.
Right. Yeah, that is a long time. Um, Supposing, just a hypothetical, supposing that, everything going on worked out eventually, whether it's 10 years, 20, who knows, just hypothetically, to produce what you're able to produce now, how much more expensive would that be to the consumer? Would you guess, if that were to happen, if everything worked out and they were produced in America, um,
Yeah.
what would you anticipate the cost would be?
I don't know. Obviously, the labor over here is more expensive than it is overseas in many places. A lot of the companies that make plush toys make them in China and Indonesia and Vietnam and India because it is less expensive. But not only that, they have, I've been on the phone with these guys. They're like my family, the two manufacturers in China. They are so, hardworking, knowledgeable. They have wonderful people there working, making these toys for us. We've developed a beautiful relationship with them. And they have the supply structure there. They make all the materials there. I don't know how feasible it would be to do that here. I often see in the news talk about the iPhone, for instance. The iPhone,
Hmm.
with Trump's 145% tariff, was lumped into being one of those products. And people, respected people in the industry had said that if the iPhones could be made at all here, you'd be looking at a $3,500 iPhone. So, if you could extrapolate that to plush and
Hmm.
your average plush maybe is $20, $25, I don't think it would be unreasonable to guess at the products needing to be in the $40 or $50 range. I don't know, but it would seem logical.
Right, right, definitely. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I know it's not a happy topic to cover, but I appreciate your candor and your willingness to discuss that with the audience. Um, but we don't want to end on a sour note, of course. So I actually picked up a couple randomals recently that I want to share. And then I understand that you have a product that you were mentioning before we went live, a new product that behind you as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you want to go first, or shall I?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. And in the meantime, while we're doing this, my friends in the audience, if you guys have any questions for Nick that you'd like to drop at the bottom, feel free to do that, and we'll take a look at those afterward. But yeah, let me show you guys what I have. So I actually haven't even properly opened these yet. So let me go ahead and make myself a little bit expanded view right here. All right. So here's the first one, you guys. They come in a little plastic baggie like this. I ordered both of these from Amazon. And this right here.
Just told me I would have sent them to you.
Oh, well, thank you. This is Hork right here.
That is hard.
Um, so part shark and
Yeah,
part
part horse and
horse.
part shark.
Yeah.
We recently went national in Ripley's Believe It or Not, and
Oh,
they
wow.
said, the sales were doing so well there, but they wanted a big item for their stores, so they asked us to commission 50 of these guys. So this is Hork's big brother, right? And we had so many we had so many requests. We went to the London Toy Fair recently, and a guy asked me to do a video on Randimals, and like we were blown away. It got 33 million views, and so many of the comments were, "Where can I buy?" They called it Mega Hork. So if we could ship this reasonably, we would make this a product because I think it's really fun.
Yeah. I
Actually, we're working on
can
this one. This is our plush version of Hork. And you remember I told you in the story how Ollie chewed up the toys and put them
Yes.
back together again? We're actually thinking of doing a version that has the stitch marks on it so that it really
Oh,
draws
wow.
attention to that storyline. At the moment, we don't have the stitching, but this is just a prototype of how we could maybe, bring home that message that the Randimals were created from two different ones.
Ah, interesting.
And
That
yeah,
is
this
really
guy
cool.
behind us is a product that we're working on. I went to the New York Toy Fair last year. We didn't have a booth, but we walked the booth, and I tried to think of a way to shamelessly promote Randimals. And so I thought of this, cutting it in half and turning it into sort of a product. At the show, we had it stitched onto our hoodie, and it was bumping into everyone when we went to restaurants. And so I came home and thought, well, maybe we can re-engineer it and use Velcro. So this is something that we're working on to bring to the market. If the market opens again,
Yeah.
probably late this year or early next.
Wow. No, that's really cool. That's a fun one. Just my initial impressions, like I love the way this feels. Like in my hand, like it's very smooth. It feels hefty. It's not like squishy. It's like a solid, like little piece of plastic. It feels very, very durable. Um, I mean, it stands just fine. Yeah, this is cool. I like this.
Little
I'm
boy,
digging this
a
one.
little boy came up with a little marketing ploy for me because some people, little kids say, "Oh, that's scary," which it is. I mean, if you saw this running down the beach, that would be scary. And this just shows you how genius kids are. So hold that hork up to the camera, and this little boy grabbed hold of it and said to this little girl, "Hork isn't scary. He's not scary at all. And you know why? And he's not mean. He's very happy. And do you know why I know he's happy?" And the little girl said, "No." And she said, "Look," he said, "if you turn him upside down, you can see he's smiling."
That's true.
I would never have thought of that. That's how kids' brains work. They're
Right.
smiling.
Yeah.
He's smiling.
That's actually a really good point. I'm an elementary school teacher, so I'm around kids every day.
Oh,
And like I feel like I want to get some of these just to put in my classroom, just to kind of stand them on the shelf and just, have something unique there. Because I can guarantee that there's probably not going to be any other teachers that have Randimals on their shelves, but I will.
you
Um,
email me. You do not buy them from Amazon. You email me and I'll send you some.
that's very kind of you. Thank you, Nick. I will do that. I'll have to take you up on that. I have one other one here that I picked up. And I'm a huge fan of dinosaurs. I know my audience is a huge fan of dinosaurs too. So I also got, here's a little baggie. I also got the B-Rex.
Yeah, he's got his plastic covering on, so you can pull that plastic cover off his wings. That's just to protect the wings, but you should be able to slide that off.
Oh yeah, looks like you're right. I'm really glad you have that because that's a really neat little protective measure there.
Yeah, we like to have fun with the names. We've got Zangaroo and Jertle and B-Rex and I'll say, hey, you want to see this one? Let me play a game to you. Can you guess what this one is? This is our brand new one.
Let me see. Let's zoom in on that. So cow and unicorn, is it?
Got little udders here.
Yeah. Let's
It's
see.
not a unicorn. Lots of kids wanted unicorns, but a lot of kids also wanted narwhal. So this is
Oh,
Narmoo, Narmoo, narwhal, and cow.
Narmu. I like that.
And on the little booklet here, you can see we have a little poem about Narmu, and then this is what Narmu would look like in real life.
Ah, here, let me zoom in on that so we can get a closer look at that. Ah, that is cool.
And I love coming up with the personalities. So inside, you can see there's a little poem about Narmu.
Narmu. That's super cute. Yeah, that's a fun one. They're all fun.
There's so
This
many
Eurex is
infinite
nice.
possibilities.
I know. I mean, there's so many. I can only imagine there's so many possibilities, but this is cool. It's very solid. It stands just fine. I had it standing here on the. I know you guys can't see, but I have him standing just on his legs. He's bouncing fine on his legs, but the tail does add the tripod like sort of
Yeah.
aspect to it as well. The wings are nice. They feel very solid. They don't feel like the kind of thing that would break. They're on there pretty good. He's got these little antennas on his head, which is fun.
We had
And then,
fun with
I
we had fun with
don't
the
know.
little we had fun with the little the claws.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to mention. Let me go ahead and zoom in. So he actually has 4 arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just two, 4 arms, like a bee has multiple arms. So
And
yeah, that is
if any of
fun.
the people watching want a message sent to them or any kids that they know, on our website we have this link at the top called Randimals DM. And so we have an app that allows you to ask a question or ask for a message to be sent to a friend. And I do all 15 voices, and we put I put my voice through an app, and we can usually turn them around within 24 hours. And so we've developed all these relationships with kids all over the country that treat Randimals like a place to get like a Hallmark greeting card. Where the mothers send requests for birthday wishes or Christmas or Easter or good luck with their exams in the morning. So it's a really beautiful, two-way conversation that we're having through the voices of Randimals, which is really fun too.
Nice. I love it. So let me just share for everybody to see the website. So you guys do have your website. And that's going to be this right here. So it's randimals.com. You can sign up to become a fandimal. I love that. And then there's a few different sections. You have an area for US orders, UK orders, Germany orders. But then it looks like you have the complete catalog listed on the website. Is that correct?
Yeah, it jumps to the shop page. There are different categories along the top, and we've actually, from that viral video, we've had a lot of interest from producers that are interested in turning Randimals into a TV show. And so at the very top there, there's a little animation that we made of Hork to try and give people an idea of what Hork might be like at the movies. If you wanted to play it, it would play,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
let's do that. Let's play it.
Hi, the name's Cork, part shark, part horse. Welcome to the Randimals.
I didn't realize that was on the end. You don't have to play the whole thing. I thought it was just the animation.
Nice. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. Very cool. I love that. And yeah, that's a blast. That's a blast. And one of the things that was mentioned on there that I love seeing is imagination and creativity. Because as an educator, I feel like those are qualities that I see less and less in children as time goes on. And I know it's not because they don't have those abilities. It's because I think the technology today, kind of does all the thinking for us, and it does all the, there's all these games and apps, which is great. But I think we're consuming them at levels that kind of holds those areas of our brain to be creative and imaginative back a little bit. And I love that that's mentioned on there. I think that's hugely important. Even as adults, we got to remember, be imaginative, be creative. That's why we have those abilities to just have these wild ideas and to have fun.
One of the most surprising things that happened when we got a few viral posts under our belt, we started reading the comments, and this just goes to show how naive we were, or not really understanding what we were getting into. We had no idea about the kidult market, and we were just floored by the number of adults that these Randimals resonate with. And I think part of it is that it has a nice message if parents buy kids, but you know, adults are actually collecting these on their own. And I don't need to say this to you because I see all your collection behind you, but we didn't appreciate fully how much adults, fall in love with toys. And I think that they like Randimals because they're a little bit, different. And I think that our products, our toys, they're fairly lifelike. The trend with squishmallows and jellycats and all these other trends have been quite sort of abstract shapes and features, and we're sort of bringing familiar animal forms back, but in a different form because they're combining two. And when you show a kid a Randimal, you can just see their brains just firing because there's a little bit of quizzicalness as to what they are. Then they start to think of what their names are, and it's very soon after that they want a pen and paper and they start drawing their own ones and they send them into our website. So it's a really cool journey to watch these kids in a classroom setting come alive to the story of the Randimals. Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do see a couple questions for you. The first one is from Adam. Adam asks, what do you think about Randimals costumes?
to make some Randimals costumes? Oh, I'd love to. I like. Is that what to create like? So for Halloween, my wife and I dressed up as Hork, and this is a costume that I really want to get made, but it's not easy. It would be quite expensive. But we tried our best to do the two-person. In England, we say, I don't know if this word means the same. Do you have the word pantomime, like a pantomime, like kids go to the
Yes.
pantomime at Christmas and they see, yeah, like, and you always get these like dressed up characters. So yeah, my wife graciously took the back end of the horse, and I was the front end of the horse, and so four legs, and we were together, and we tried to navigate our way through our town with
That's good.
mixed success. There's a TikTok video on there, but
Okay.
gosh, I think that would be really fun to do. Yes, I would love to be B Rex.
Nice. Britt is asking, what is your favorite Randimal?
Oh, that's like what's my favorite child? Very often it's the last one. I did have a lot of fun doing Narmu. But the one that actually I think gives me the most joy is, funnily enough, the one that I had little to do with as far as the idea goes. I love that this little boy sent in a drawing. He was quite young. I think he was maybe 6 or 7, and the drawing was it was no masterpiece. It was on a napkin type thing, but I got the concept, and the idea just clicked with me. And the idea of calling it Jertle
Yeah.
tickled me. And so the fact that we connected with kids in a way that they wanted to send in a drawing, and then we made it, and a kid in Chicago can say that he designed Jertle, that makes me smile. So I like this one for those
Yeah.
reasons.
That's really cool. And there are so many suggestions in the comments about different sorts of
Wow.
Randimals.
Oh yeah, a wows, a platymus, a beam. Okay. I haven't got my glasses on. Is that Dodgson? I would love to see a picture of those. Please send them to our website, and I will put them on our website. Bigfoot mixed with large feet, stinkfoot. Yep, I like them. I like the
Yeah,
idea of a
lots of
whale and a
suggestions.
mouse, two things that are completely different sizes, and that's the fun part because
Yeah.
you can't really get the proportions wrong because the animals that we design, the two of the animals, they're completely different sizes. So there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever looks good. We make these two, which are the little we call these Randiminis. So these are the little beanie baby versions of Randimals,
Mm,
which are kind of cute
nice.
too. This is Sea
Yeah,
Dog
those are cool.
and Huck. Oops. Oh, this is kind of funny. We made a post on this one the other day. So, Trump said that electronics were going to be exempt from the tariff. That was the news of 2 days ago. So, my partner came up with this idea of turning Huck into a telephone so that we could perhaps bring them back over from China, and we wouldn't have to pay the tariff. We wouldn't need to pay the tariff on them. So it's got some microchips, some semiconductors, and it's a phone. So yeah, the last TikTok we made
Oh,
was a
well.
fictitious phone call from the CEO of Randimals to the head of product development who had dropped off the horse phone on his desk on Monday morning, and he was explaining how he'd
Oh, well.
solved the tariff issue.
Nice. Well, hey, Nick, it's been great. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing all of this about Randimals, how they came about, what Randimals are out there. And down in the description, we have a link to the website. We also have a link to your Instagram, and it sounds like you guys are also on TikTok. So our
Yeah,
audience,
we love TikTok.
definitely
Yeah.
go check out Randimals. Is there anywhere else that our audience should go to look you up or to find out more about Randimals?
Yeah, that's the best place is our website. We sell, from our website, and Amazon fulfill our orders. And our new partner, Ripley's Aquariums, and Ripley's, believe it or not, they've been big fans of us for the last year. So big shout out to them, and thank you to you. I was quite nervous coming on, but you've made me feel very at ease, and it just feels like a lovely conversation. So thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And, thanks again for coming on. And, best of luck resolving the whole situation with the tariffs. And I look forward to seeing Randimals become even bigger and greater and finding their way into the hands of more customers.
Thank you, and thank you to your audience for watching. And maybe if there's some good news in the future, I can come on maybe on a Friday night with a glass of wine, and we can we can be grateful that something has changed that enables us to get cranking again, because we're ready to
Yeah.
take Randomless to another level just as soon as we're able to.
Yes, that would be a lot of fun. All right, Nick. Well, thanks again. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was fun. Randimals, you guys, check them out. Links in the description. They are available on Amazon. You can purchase them, and then you can go to the website for more information. And you can also check them out on Instagram and on TikTok. We're going to keep this show going. So we're going to go ahead and proceed with our next guest of the evening. So let's go ahead and welcome in Anthony from the Imperial Communique.
Hello there.
Anthony, how's it going?
Greetings. It's going well. How's it going with you?
Going well. Just having a good time here on a Wednesday night.
Good, good. Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. I love the background. The collection's looking great.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what's new with you?
Oh man, where do I start? It's just been a crazy year so far. Just I've just been busy with work, and I haven't been able to get to making any new videos. My ghosts are still sitting, waiting to be unboxed and animated, but still planning to do that.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't opened mine either. The only thing I opened was I took the figures out, and those are awaiting clamshells because Figure Shield, who I use for the carded figures, had a production delay, and they had to order more, and their costs went up. And so I ordered those like a month and a half ago, and they should be shipping, I believe, pretty soon here later this month. But that's the only thing I've taken out is the figures. But yeah, I hear you. One of these days, I got to find a spot for that ghost. I got to find a spot for it.
Well, I've got a shelf ready for it. I just need to open it up and move it in. Well, after I do my thing, it definitely deserves to have a little, an exploration of all of its features.
Yeah, definitely. And Adam says, welcome.
Hi, Adam. Hey, hi, honey.
Yeah, and then I saw a few other names filtering in here. Millennium Workshop. Let's see who else. A few other people were joining while we were talking with Nick a few minutes ago. Let's see, we got Blue with us. Very cool. Very cool. Great audience as always. Great audience as always. Okay. Cool. So I guess let's get into the news of the week. It's Wednesday, and usually what I've been finding is like with toy news lately, it usually comes out more like if it's not a Hasbro stream, which is usually like Tuesday, toy news is mostly coming out like Thursday, Friday is what I've been noticing. So there's not a lot. It's kind of light, but I do want to pull these up and get your take on these. So we all know the Star Wars Epic Heroes Power the
Mhm.
Force segment that's going on. It's been out for like the last year and a half or so. Jason over at Yakface posted a couple new ones
Hmm.
that have been making the rounds online, and I guess they actually went up for pre-order on Amazon and sold out. So somebody's buying these things,
Hmm.
even though they go to clearance at retail. Somebody's buying these. First one's Anakin Skywalker, and yeah, I mean, kind of makes sense. I feel like this Epic Heroes line has been kind of trying to do the main characters for the most part. You got all the great ones like, Vader, Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, Mandalorian. They're even doing some like Sabine Wren and Dark Trooper. But yes, I mean, it makes sense that if you're covering more of the mains, that you would do characters like Anakin. So Anakin is here. His lightsaber's got this electricity effect on it. I don't know if he's blocking somebody's force lightning. Maybe it's a Asajj Ventress. I have no idea. Did she use force lightning? I don't remember right now. I don't think so. But yeah, picture on the card is interesting because it's the animated look, but then the figure looks like it's the more realistic interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I haven't even seen these yet. The last wave I saw was the one with the droid from Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, SM-33. Yeah, you're right. They did that one also.
But you know what I've been seeing in the stores is a new product that's not a single carded figure. It's sort of like a mech set. So it's it's like, there's a stormtrooper that goes into a stormtrooper mech suit, and I think there's either Boba Fett or the Mandalorian that goes into a Mandalorian set mech suit, which is something I haven't seen advertised yet, or I didn't see a pre-order or like kind of any announcement for that type of thing. I mean, looks interesting, but it's not my cup of tea. But it's they're throwing things out there in the at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah, definitely. Captain Rex is the other. Interestingly, Captain Rex comes with 2 blue blaster pistols. I don't know why they're like a clear blue plastic.
Yeah,
one of them has a little blast effect.
Yeah, because I picked up the Dark Trooper, and I was a little bit disappointed that it was the clear red blaster with a blast effect. Again, I don't know. I get it. This is definitely geared more toward kids. So, if it brings them into the hobby, great.
Yeah, I picked this one up the other day from Amazon, and I'm gonna just ruin one of my acquisitions right now. But these were $3.99 on Amazon, so I picked up Luke Skywalker. I mean, Luke Skywalker, right? Like, I mean, he kind of made sense as one that I should probably try and grab. But yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He's just a 4-inch Jedi Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's the look, right? I think it's more like Book of Boba Fett is what it looks like to me, or Mandalorian, even. Like, he's got like the longer robes that he's wearing. And then he's got the lightsaber, which does not have the crazy lightning effect. And then he's got backpack for Grogu to go inside. So not bad. I was like, $3.99. That's pretty good. Maybe we should pick him up.
Right. Yeah. Full disclosure.
Generally yes.
Full disclosure. I am collecting the line just to be consistent with getting everything 3 3/4 inch or whatever this scale is. I mean, I have one in my Stormtrooper set here, just for posterity's sake. But just why not? Not really opening them, so just to have it.
Yeah. Right on. I see our friend July through November has joined, and Adam didn't waste any time in doing the acronym. So July through November. I recently found out Anthony is his name is actually Jason, but he goes by July through November because it spells out Jason, which was kind of cool to find out. Anyway, 22 says, I'm getting myself a coffee table display so that the ghost is inside the coffee table and can be seen through the glass. Just food for thought. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I've heard some people doing that with this or the Falcon or other vehicles. But what I like, and I'm probably going to end up just doing, is the guitar stand, because I feel like that's going to make the most sense for my display space, is doing the guitar stand thing at some point.
Yeah, I thought about a coffee table display too, but my I've always wanted to, like, I came up with the idea to do a corner display and kind of have a two shelves that mean, in the corner, and having something that to sit them on. So between me and my friend Steve, we figured out the right shelf to buy and the right piece of wood to buy to put it in to make it look like it's part of the shelf. So once I open it up, that's going to go in there. My Falcon's already on there. If I twisted my computer here, you can see the shelf, but the room's messy. But yeah, that's it should be a good display. But I think he put his up, and he said that it's just a little bit too big, that the front landing gear wants to come off it. So it's that big.
Nice. Britt's asking, did we just hear a shelf aside? Shelf aside. Okay. So I turned off my camera real quick, you guys, so that I could jump up and go grab my loot figure. And I knocked over one of my new acquisitions. That's what that was. Not a big deal. It's just some carded figures that fell over, but that's what that was. I also noticed a comment here from Mary. She says, Anthony, I'm very excited and close to putting in an order for your Star Wars action figure stands.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Very flattered.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Geez. How do I not turn this into a commercial? No, it's just,
Turn into a commercial.
Look, I mean, anybody who collects figures and the amount of figures that I have, there's a little bit of frustration because it's one size fits all. And I have my big army, and it's just, getting everything to line up really well is difficult. It takes a lot of work because just figures have different like the pegs are either in the heel or in the middle of the foot or in the toe of the foot, and then and then some figures have real shallow pegs. So I've just been kicking around ideas like, well, what if I make my own stands? And my wife got a 3D printer, and I just basically immediately just started trying to design some stands. So I designed some that accommodate, and this is the crazy thing, I'll never be able to get plastic injection molding because I have 30 different product. But I make stands that interlock, and then there's standard stands, and then I have stands that accommodate figures with the holes in the heels, the holes in the mid feet, and holes in the toes. And then I do a wide stance like Addies, and then a detention stance, and just a combination of all those. So you could get interlocking ones so that you could kind of build a little display, and move everything all at once. Well, I thought we might talk about it, so I have a couple here, but they hold together pretty well. And pretty sturdy, and I keep tweaking the formula because I learned a little bit about 3D printing and little errors that made and how to accommodate for these things. But so there's individual stands, but for army builders, there's also I made basically plates for squads and then platoons, so that you could just move everything together. So there's a plate that holds like 10 figures at a time, and they go into like a platoon base. They slide in just like that. So you could have different figures, different types of figures with different peg stances, and then two of them to go together. Two of them go together to make a platoon. And then I designed it so that the individual stands, this is interlocking stand, but individual stands, you could also fit 10 right in the plate, right, like there's a light. So you could fit 10 of these stands in here perfectly. So you could mix and match whichever figures, and everything lines up. And, it's like, I started making them for myself. and I started using them on my army. And to be honest, I was like a little bit surprised after a certain point. I was setting things up, and there's such a difference it made in how everything lines up. And then my creative partner came by the house, and he's like, wow, this is just absolutely amazing, and the difference that it makes. Everything's more solid, and everything sits on the pegs better because I accommodate for the shallow holes or just smaller peg sizes. So it's just I'm actually fairly happy with the product, and we've had a pretty steady since we launched with Platoon Systems AFS.com. We it's been fairly consistent. So we just filled a big order, like hundreds of stands for both 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch. So people obviously, and it's a repeat customer, so people are liking the product.
Very nice.
And
that's
I
really
just
cool.
want,
That's really
and
cool.
I just
I
wanted
actually.
Well, I just want to mention too, I'm also working on making risers now. So just so that you could put it on a shelf and have how, the back row is a little higher and third, fourth row. It's just I'm trying to decide on how high to make the risers. Then I got to make some little parts so that, just so that it, that they stand better. So, it just takes in a little engineering.
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine. No, that's really cool. I may need to pick some of those up myself at some point.
Well, yeah, let me know. Just send me a DM. And thanks for letting me. Talk about that.
Yeah, of course. Because you mentioned them, I do want to go ahead and pull these up because I actually cannot remember if I talked about these or not. But just to show these real quick, you mentioned the Epic Heroes mech figures. So there's 3 of them. There's Stormtrooper, there's Darth Vader, and there's Mandalorian. You basically get the action figure, and then you get a much larger mech suit to put the action figure inside. So very interesting concept. It's interesting to see these in stores, and I am very curious. I know we'll never know the exact numbers, but I am interested to see at least anecdotally how well these do for Hasbro.
Let me ask you, with these, I ask myself, when I see this stuff, I'm like, would that resonate with me if I was 10 years old again? Because I just, I love the Star Wars figures, and I love the G.I. Joes, and I kind of loved how, the intricacy, and at least the details, especially with the GI Joes, and they didn't quite dumb down the kids, and it was a different time back then. But it's just this stuff is cool, but it's like I ask myself, if I was 10 years old again, how much would that resonate?
Yeah, it's a good question. Just off the top of my head, I feel like I wouldn't be that interested. Just because I was always more, and I still am more a stickler for accuracy, for what I see in the movie and or the show or whatever it is, the source material.
But then again, I just pulled this. But I just pulled this off my shelf, and these are the mini rigs from way back when, which I adored, and they served a function because they were I couldn't afford a shuttle back then, and my parents didn't get me one, although they did get me the Falcon. But these were great; they could afford to get these, and I absolutely adore the mini rigs too. So it's like, So I don't know if I'm answering my own question or not.
Yeah, that's just me personally. Even for the Jurassic Park Kenner line, they made so many dinosaurs, and I even though I love all of them, at the time I wanted the ones that were actually seen in the movie.
Right.
That's just me. I mean, not everybody is. Probably more people are a little more lenient and flexible with that kind of thing, but that's just me.
That's what's great. It's you throw, it's like you offer a variety, and they figure out what resonates with people. You might because I thought this might come up. This is my wife and I have started getting some of the Jurassic Park figures. So
let me zoom in on that. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, so especially the Hammond collection stuff. I mean, geez, this stuff is just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, nice. I didn't know y'all were collecting those.
No, it was just one of the. And I'll show you another thing I put aside here too, is because I was just thinking it's sort of like, what if I did a crossover and did put some Imperials on
Ah,
some figures on some dinosaurs. So
there you go.
yeah. So that was kind of the impetus, seeing some stuff on clearance. I'm like, yeah, let me pick one up and see what it's like. And my wife was like, oh, those are really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that is really cool. I'm glad you're it's a great line. You know, I know there's a lot of little things with the Mattel Jurassic line that, you know, are annoying, but at the same time, I always say this, you know, I give them all the credit in the world for creating a brand and a line that was non-existent prior to them bringing it in 2018 and making it an evergreen presence on toy shops, because it's always there. There's always new dinosaurs coming out. Not so many human figures anymore, unfortunately, but there's always dinosaurs, and the price points are very much in line with where they were in 2018. Like, they haven't gone up a whole lot. So just props to them for being able to manage that. Let's see. Do we have anything else for Star Wars? I'm just looking over Jason's yak face and see if I missed
Well,
anything.
I'm curious what everybody thinks about that 4-pack, the Snow Trooper 4-pack, because we were scrutinizing that to see if it's actually a thing. Because instead of saying Snow Troopers, it says Snow Trooper, and I didn't get to see. I didn't really study the packaging at all. But I mean, it would be a cool set for sure. But you would think that they would throw Commander in there just to be consistent with most of the other 4-packs that are coming out, or troop builders they call them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's. There are a few Jurassic dinosaurs I want to mention now that I'm looking, but let's talk about the Trooper pack first. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's pull this up. Yeah, so we did mention this last week as something that was seen. What we didn't know at the time, though, was that our friends over at Bantha School, Chris and Brett, actually bought the set that was on eBay.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And yeah, they proceeded to do a review of it. So they have a review on their website already.
I thought they were just reviewing the normal figure. Huh.
Yeah, so this is what they got in their set. So they have it's 4 snow troopers. As far as I could tell from reading the review, excuse me, they look pretty much the same. Like, there's not any like deco on like above the knees that really differentiates them. Like, they look very similar. Which is kind of unique, right? Because I think usually with these troop builder packs, you get a little bit, at least when it's like there's a little bit of battle damage, you get a little bit of a unique thing going with each figure. But in this one, they look all the same. Yeah,
I mean, great. That's great, because they sold out, practically everywhere. So it's nice to
right.
Oh, and they come with 2 long rifles too. Oh, that's great. I was working all day, so I missed this.
Yeah, they come with the 2 long rifles, and then they also come with 4 of the standard Imperial blaster as well.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm happy they're coming out.
Yeah, it's cool. They are back for pre-order on Amazon. I saw that they went back up the other day, but I canceled my I had some on pre-order on Amazon. I canceled them because I already got a case of 8 from Entertainment Earth. And then I had the case of that wave, so I already had like a loose one. So I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm going to get some of the army builder ones instead of the outstanding pre-orders I had on Amazon. So I canceled those, and maybe that's why they went back in stock, because I canceled my pre-orders. I don't know. But yeah, I do intend to pick up a couple of these sets once these come out, and I'm sure you're going to get like 20 sets of these.
I have my platoon. I'll get 1 extra. I don't think I'm believe it or not, I'm probably fine.
That is hard to believe, but
I know, right? So somehow I discipline myself. When when I need to fill out the numbers, I don't hesitate. But when it's like, well, do I need more than a squad? Nah, I'm good with 9, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think the snowtroopers are supposed to be a little more specialized of a stormtrooper, right? Like they're
Yeah.
not like a whole big like thing like stormtroopers are.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, same thing. I didn't order like a ton of them. It was just the one case, the extra opener I had from the wave of that figure that figure's in, and then whatever I get from a couple of these sets.
This is now one of my favorite figures. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It is. It's a great figure. It's probably the best one of the year so far, I would say. And they nailed it, and that's what needs to happen with these troop builders, which is one thing I did want to bring up in a little bit is troop building. But yeah, I'm very happy with this, and yeah, it's really cool to see this war pack. And I do hope we get an updated commander as well.
Yeah. I was considering just adding my own. That's what I've done with a few figures. Way back in the day, I found a bunch of the Admiral or not Cap Admiral, the Moff Jerjerods. From what line? It was the Saga line, and I just scraped the badge insignia off, and would just make captains and lieutenants, glue them onto other figures. I was thinking about doing that for this.
Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. But I mean, they did the Snowtrooper Commander in the Black Series 3/4, and it still
it's pretty
it's nice. But
yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I have them standing next to each other, and it's like I kind of have to just, for a brief second, it's like they're really comparable. So I just might use that in my army.
Yeah, I have them both on the shelf too, like the new one and then the old commander. But yeah, it looks good. They updated it, awesome. But like immediately, it's not really like a big need, I guess, for me. But I know a lot of people are going to want that. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Collect Jurassic's Instagram. My good old buddy Tim over in Collect Jurassic, and see what he's got, because he was posting some stuff earlier. Let's see. Let's go back just a little bit. We'll go back to about. I know we talked about a lot of this stuff
beautiful.
Here. But, yeah. Oh, so I do want to mention this one real quick, because this is a new Mosasaurus. They did a Mosasaurus in 2018 that they repainted at some point along the way. There's a comparison picture floating around the interwebs right now of this Mosasaurus with the old one, and this one's about 2/3 the size of the old one. So it's a lot smaller. I don't know if that's like a thing in the movie or what, but it is a lot smaller, just in case anybody's wondering, because it is up for pre-order. I wish I could find that image. I don't know where it is, but there is an image of it. It's like 2/3 the size of the last one for whatever reason.
See, I find that fascinating, just in terms of the cost it makes to do the molds. And it's like, is it actually more cost effective to do a new one and make it smaller for the shelf space and all the things that are associated with in, taking something to market versus just doing a repaint? That's fascinating.
Yeah. Did you see these Hammond Collection reveals from a couple of weeks back? There's the
I have
Spinosaurus
not,
and
but
the
that's
Stegosaurus.
gorgeous. I've not. I figure I'll see it at my Comic-Con for sure.
Right. Yeah, those are cool. But as far as new stuff, there's a keepsake ornament. There's a Velociraptor. Looks like it's the Lost World. There is a Hot Wheels Wrangler Sahara diecast. What else? All right, this is the Mattel stuff that we're interested in here. So this is the gigantic tracker. So these are, I think, like the $20, $25 price point figures. This one here is called, this is a new species to me. I didn't even know this existed. This is Tyrannotitan. Tyrannotitan. And Tyrannotitan, it looks cool. I like the coloration on this one. It looks colorful and fun. And then there's also Eo Triceratops. That's another new species for me. which again, I like the coloring on the frill, like the teal, like that looks pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the paint apps are great.
Yeah, there's a look in package. Yeah, they both look cool. They both
Yeah,
look
I
cool. I do
like
want to say that. Yeah.
no, just I like the ones that look a little slightly otherworldly, just the exoticness is very fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to say that this packaging gives me a very slight Kenner vibe when I look at it. Very slight, the colors on it. Let's see. So these ones are the Frenzy packs. So I think that's what they're calling the smaller, like $8 price point ones now, is the Frenzy packs. They've been called Wild Packs, Attack Packs, and all kinds of other stuff. Now they're Frenzy packs. But this one here, who is this guy right here? This is Iani, I think is the name. Iani. And there's also a picture on the back of Edmontonia. And then Torvan Nustis. Someone, I don't even know if I'm saying these right, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, I like the sea creature one. Like that's a neat marine reptile sort of thing. I might pick that up.
Are you a completist for this line?
No, not. I was for like the first few years of the line. Like I was buying like the whole line, but it just got too big, and it's just way it's very unwieldy and unmanageable to be a completist with this line.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, Hammond collection, 100%. Jurassic 93 collection, 100%. The Legacy collection, yes, but like the mainline stuff, I mostly pick and choose things like in there that really catch my eye. But I have to be very careful with this line because like I have so many of them already, and it's just like any extra one, it's like there's even a small one, it's like, okay, well now where's it gonna go? Because there's a ton of them on the shelves already. So yeah.
Yeah, I think before we knew it was just like, I think we might have too many.
So this is a Sound Surge Tyrannosaurus Rex with an updated coloration to it. These are the electronic ones.
But they're also like kind of like the dinosaur equivalent of 5 POA though too, right?
Yeah, that's basically what these are. Is like they're epic force, like sort of segments. And I don't even see these on shelves like at Target or Walmart. These are more like I see them online, and I think I've heard of them being like at like Family Dollar, like places like that.
Yeah, I found the older versions of those types of things at Ross.
Right. Yeah, definitely. What else do we got here? So here's another look at the Tyrannotitan. I think it has sound. Possibly. No, it has music, and I'm not going to play the music because I don't want to copyright it. Okay, so these are Wild Roar. So these are like the $15 price point, the electronic ones. This here is the Utah Raptor. And Utah Raptor looks nice. This is actually a species I've been kind of clamoring for them to do at some point. But more than anything else, I want to see the species in the movies because this is like a really big like Velociraptor.
Right.
And we've never seen in the movies before. But yeah, the figure looks cool. I doubt it's in the movie, but I don't really know for sure. But if it does and it looks like this, then I think I'll be interested.
Yeah, they made a version. We have a. Again, I don't know the line well enough, but there's the small size that's almost like a 3 3/4 inch figure size. Like Velociraptors and all. There's something like that in there with the feathered tail that we have, but it's packed away.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
I like this one. I think I'm going to pick this one up. What do you have over there, Anthony? I hear like a clicking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just fidgeting.
I was wondering. I was like, what does he have over there?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a close up of the head. They gave it lips. It has lips. I love it. That's a cool
Yeah.
sculpt. That's a really nice sculpt. Like the paint, it's all right. The orange is kind of cool actually, but like you could do a lot with like extra paint or like doing a custom paint on this. Like you could make a really cool figure. That looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask what it was about to try and grab in that picture, but yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna get that one for sure. There's also some photos of the Wild Roar, which is the same assortment. Ceratops, which is the second one they've done, at least an adult one, in this line. I think the last one was 2019, I want to say. And this one here is probably one I would pick up as well, just on principle of it being something we actually see in the films that hasn't really been done too well. Like the last one was okay. But this being a second like iteration of it looks pretty nice. Again, with the paint, it's not the most detailed, but definitely a good base if you're like a custom painter.
Yeah, but the sculpts are nice. A lot of detail in the in the design.
Yeah, really good detail. This one here is another Wild Roar. This is Maiasaura. I think we talked about this one, I think, previously, because we saw an image, but we didn't see these images. So this is Maiasaura, which is a hadrosaur, duck-billed hadrosaur. And they've never done this species, so we're seeing it for the first time. It looks nice. Yeah, looks cool. Like I keep saying, like I'm trying not to like buy as many of these, but like I'm looking at these and I'm like, I want that one too.
They're doing their job, keeping it hooked.
Yeah, they definitely know how to do that pretty darn well. And then this one is the Wild Roar Baryonyx, which okay, it's fine. It's just I'm kind of over the Baryonyxes, or is the plural Baryonyxes. Baryonyces? I don't even know, but I'm kind of over these. So they've already done like 20 different Baryonyxes over the years, and they're all very, very similar. Like this one, it looks pretty much the same as any other one, except the head looks maybe a little bit better. But it's like I have so many of these. Like this is not one I would really need to worry about.
Get away. Get away, get away.
Are you under attack?
Yes. I got one of the really,
let's zoom in on
huge, gigantic.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful there. Got to be careful there. Was that the super colossal?
Yeah. That's just fun. To be honest, I'd love to take a couple of these things out to Vasquez Rocks with some of my Imperials and do a photo shoot. That would really be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Those super colossals, man, they take up so much space. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we picked, we have the Allosaurus here. No, this is a Gigantosaurus. And then we picked up the black and gold one. And then I'm like, okay, that's it. No more room.
Yeah, those and the sauropods is like, shoot. I don't even display most of those. I just keep them in storage.
Oh my God, the sauropods are so beautiful. We got one. We have two different ones, but we picked up multiple of the one just to do a herd. And again, I don't know when we're ever going to do that. It'd be nice to go out and just do some photo shoots with them because they're gorgeous, gorgeous toys.
Yeah. Let's see here. A few comments here about the dinosaurs. Let's see. Dodgson says, I'll hold off on the Mosasaurus for now. It's been a huge chunk on the Spino and Stegosaurus. Understandable. Let's see. Adam says, some of these dinos are more or less Jurassic Randimals. Yep. Dodgson says, I'm still waiting on electrified fences to put on my Mattel figures in a nice enclosure. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that too. They really, I'm surprised that after all these years, they haven't done like a proper playset. Like with
Hmm.
all this stuff, like with the fences and the gate and all that. I know they tried to do like their crowdfund thing and it didn't pass, but that's not even what we need, right? We just need like a very basic, like, sell it for $30, a few fences and the gate. Like that would be for me pretty sufficient. Um, yeah. So I mean, they're doing their thing. These are starting to ship, I understand, like, and they're probably gonna start hitting retail very soon, like within the next few weeks. So I need to stay out of the stores, basically. Oh, I love it, Adam. Yeah. Got to pick up some nail polish. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I just need to go in there to grab some nail polish. I'll be right back. Who can go to the store without going to the toy aisle? There's no way. It's just not possible. It's not going to happen. It's just not being done. It's just not a thing. Cool. Well, I think that covers the Mattel stuff. And I think that covers the Star Wars stuff. So I'm trying to think what else we have here that we can. What else have you seen lately, Anthony, that you want to talk about?
So I mean, look, I'm just excited to be getting new product. I just got my Mos Eisley Streets set, which is really cool. They did a great job. The Jawa is great. It seems like a definitive Jawa. Has a cloth cape with enough plastics. I wish I could get a couple more of those, but now I got to find a place to put it. The wolf thing from Ahsoka. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know how. I can't remember half the names, but that again, they're just. There's less toys, but what we are getting is they're great. They're just really nicely detailed, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm just waiting for new. I'm always waiting for the new stuff to come. I have on order that the 3-pack with Captain. Captain, not Captain Gideon. The one that Xander Berkeley played in The Mandalorian. And Heir to the Empire or something, 3-pack. Just waiting for that, and yeah. I mean, just always excited to get new stuff and open it up. Yeah.
Yep, I concur.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it's all
I'm
about.
really
Getting new stuff and opening them up.
I'm excited. Hopefully, with Celebration and Andor, I'm really hoping that next week we're going to get some really cool announcements from Andor, because again, I'm happy with any figures, but there's some of those Imperials, they got to make some more of those Imperials. That's I can't believe they haven't done that, because people like me, I'm definitely going to get a squad or two, and it's good army building stuff, and like the trooper, the trooper in the black armor. It's like I am looking at it and I'm like, they have a lot of the tooling already. They just need to make a new helmet with the goggles. And a couple other little tweaks, and it's like it's not that much of an investment to make. And I made
Right.
from one of the images from the first trailer. You have the ISB troopers, and there's the one the officer in the back, and it's like you know what, there's parts. I just more or less made my own from the Fallen Order guy in his Imperial officer outfit with and just repainting some of the Andor Imperial disguise figure, and it's like it's practically the figure. The only difference is I don't have the right neck piece for the officer. I was
Yeah.
like, again, it's like it's not a huge investment to make these, so I'm crossing my fingers. We're going to get some really cool announcements next week.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope we see some really interesting stuff. If you could pick one thing to be revealed at Celebration, one thing, one TVC item, what do you think it would be?
Well, look, I mean, it's like there's a lot of great figures, but I really would love to have that Imperial, the Imperial trooper in the black armor. That's probably top of my want list.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool to see. For me, I really want a new C-3PO. Like, I'll forgo a lot of stuff for a little bit if we get a new C-3PO. That's like the one thing. Like, I mean, there's not the one thing. There are other ones, but we really need a new C-3PO to go with all this new, like, original trilogy stuff.
Yeah. No, I definitely concur. I was like everybody else is trying to analyze that image to see, is that new? Which version is that from that the picture of the new was it the back of the new land speeder?
Yep.
So yeah, it's like it's puzzling. It's like
Yeah.
I get the issues that they have with vacuum forming and trying to give it that silver look, but it's like they're smart guys, and I know they're working on it. They're I'm sure you chat with them as much as I do. It's just a lot of it's probably just balancing of cost.
Right. That's what it always is, balancing of costs. Yeah. So I mentioned troopers earlier. They've recently, I don't want to say recently, because how many years has it? It's been several years now since they did the new Stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
It's been several years, like Rogue One, right? Like after that, they retooled it to give it the ankles.
Right.
It's a nice figure. Doesn't have the barbell hips, but it's still a nice figure.
And that's the funny thing. It's sort of like at the time, I'm like, no, they can't improve on this. They can't improve on this. And then it's like, yeah, the barbell hips, and then the whatever they're doing with the shoulder pads. And it's like, there's little things. I'm like, okay, they could do better. So, yeah, because the barbell hips,
Yeah.
I didn't really explore that until I was looking at, like, somebody asked me because I picked up one of the new Mandalorian figures. And I'm like, okay, let me check. And I'm like, oh yeah, the newer one does have the barbell hips, and let me compare. I'm like, ooh, yeah, the barbell hips, they're kind of a game changer. So
I know they are. I hate the other ones. They're just too hard. Like especially in a Stormtrooper with the armor, like the thighs spinning around. Like But
I'm lucky. Most of mine just stand there at attention, hold the blaster.
Yes,
so it
that's
doesn't
true.
matter.
That's true. But yeah, so they did the Stormtrooper. They redid the Clone Trooper, Phase 1 and Phase 2. They've been repainting it here and there. There's still a long ways to go. What else have they done recently that's like definitive? The Snow Trooper, obviously.
Yeah. Does that,
I think that's basically it, right?
Mine's not here. Is that barbell hips? I don't check these things out all the time.
The Snow Trooper, yes.
Yeah, does it have barbell hips? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on as far as troopers are concerned, what do you think is the next trooper that Hasbro should give the definitive treatment to?
I hate to say, I think they could do with the Stormtrooper again. It's like you give the barbell hips, you do the shoulder pads, and you can kind of do a deluxe because I don't know. It's like I have these pipe dreams. I'm happy with my army the way it is now, but I'd be really geeking out over a deluxe one that had an alternate belt, so you could do the TK421 with the alternate with the communicator on it, and coming with a was it DL19, the rifle blaster, stuff like that. And that would I think be definitive for me in terms of a Stormtrooper.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm curious what everybody in the chat thinks, what they think should be the next definitive trooper. I'll mention mine just a bit, but a few friends popping in here. Geek Strong, how's it going? Thank you for coming by.
Hey, Geek Strong.
17.28. How's it going? We have Brad with us. And I think I saw our pal, Darth Malik's missing lower jaw. And Scott 9 is here with us. And, I thought I saw our friend Pico B1 with us. Hey.
Now,
Cool.
do you have a figure like that's kind of your kind of favorite? Like, do you like a figure focus like Luke Skywalker's or Boba Fett?
With TVC, I buy it all. You know that.
Yeah.
It would be easier if I had a figure focus.
Yeah.
If I had a figure focus, it would probably be Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, I would say.
Oh man, there's so many. I have like a box over here with all the different versions. And then I'm like, wait, is this a Dark Times one, or is this which one is this? I have to look to figure out what I'm almost ready to put a label inside right next to them so I can remember. It's a lot different from when we were kids. It's like I prided myself in remembering like all the figures, their
Same.
names and the blasters that went with them. Now it's like we're on 350 TVC figures, and I got slaughtered. I was on with Stu on a trivia challenge, and they're showing figure pictures. Like, what character is this? And I'm like, I have it, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Well, we can. I know, right? Yeah. Oh, God, that's my wife. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing a few comments in here. Like, there's a Rebels Jump Trooper Dodson says. PW1 says the same thing. I mean, isn't that more or less the Stormtrooper though, right? Just with,
Yeah,
like, the
I have it.
jetpack.
Yeah, it's just got the hole in the back and a different helmet. It's more or less the same. They really didn't upgrade anything, sadly. But still, I think it's still a really, really, really solid sculpt, but it can be improved.
Yeah, definitely. Brad says Shock Trooper. Like, I'm thinking like those to me seem easy. Like, I can imagine that those being easy. I'm thinking of more like something that would need to be completely 100% redone.
Well, do the battle droids count? Because it's just God bless them. I have my shelf here, the battle droids, and it's like it's like I understand plastic's flimsy, and you just got to get it right, but it's just they could do a lot better on those. But yeah, Endor Rebel Troopers for sure. They could redo the Blockade Runner. The Rebel Fleet Troopers. There's a lot they could still go up there. Improve.
Right.
So I like having the Rebel Fleet Troopers to battle, but they definitely need barbell hips now instead of the swivel.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. There are so many that, I mean, the battle droids, we know they're coming out with that new pack, right? And
right.
I think that's the most we're going to see of those for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to go back and redo that. But like, as far as troopers go, like, now that we have the Stormtrooper, more or less, now that we have the Snow Trooper, now that we have a clone trooper like body that can be reused for most all clones, not all, but many. I feel like the next one I'd like to see would be, and I mean, I kind of struggle with saying it, Anthony, because this is not by any measure my favorite trooper design, but I just feel like the ones that we have are just not unacceptable at this stage in the game. And that's the Biker Scout. Like, the Biker Scout, they re-released it with the speeder bike with a brand new head, and that's I think that's the only thing they changed on it. Like, it looks better. It looks better, but as far as needing to be completely reworked from the ground up, like, they really missed the boat on that one. That's one that I would say, like, probably more imminently needs to be, like, redone.
I completely agree with you. It's just a little frustrating because the bike is beautiful, and some of the parts that they did do are great, but it's just they didn't nail it. It's definitely not definitive yet. It's a little too tall. I did the comparison. It's like it's just
Mhm.
a little, and it's not quality control, but it's just sort of like just standard. They don't quite have the standard set on the height.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of good names being mentioned.
Yeah.
Galactic Marine, Kashyyyk Clone, Endor Troopers. I mean, there's so many. But I think imminently, that's the one that stands out the most for me. Even though it wouldn't be my favorite, I'd prefer to see a Galactic Marine. I prefer to see the 41st Elite Kashyyyk Troopers. I prefer those, but I think more dire need would be that Biker Scout Trooper.
Yeah,
I'm putting
no complaints here.
like the general. Yeah, I'm putting just like the general, like more like the wider like needs of the figure line before my personal needs, I guess. That's what I mean. All right, somebody's being obnoxious outside with their car, and it doesn't sound very good either. Just saying, doesn't sound very good. Let's see what else. Oh, and this is a good point. Brad says a new Scout Trooper would open up Sabine and Ezra in those outfits.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
True. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm trying to think of anything else. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Anthony, as far as like toys go, or Star Wars, or just anything else in general?
Man, gosh, I wish I, right now the brain's a bit of a blank. I'm just, just enjoying the hobby, enjoying what they get, what we're getting, and it's just a good at the end of the day to just kind of walk by the Army and do a little tweaking and just kind of like take my mind off of whatever else is going on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, next week,
That's what it's
waiting for next week. Can't wait to see what they announce. I'm hoping that there's going to be a little bit of hoopla over Andor. And Andor, I can't wait for Andor.
Andor, yeah. Next week, right? Next week.
Dr. Sci-Fi, Darren, he went to the premiere. He took his K2SO there last night or the night before down at the El Capitan in Disney. So I'm very jealous.
Yeah, that looked fun. I did see pictures of that. They need to invite more toy people to those events, right? They get like all these like Star Wars like influencers, but like they need to get some toy people over there because we know Star Wars just as well as those folks do, if not better, I would say, because of the toys. So we can name all the Cantina aliens and the Jabba's aliens and all that stuff. They need to get us to those events.
They can invite me to set up my army. Which actually we're doing gonna be this is my life and having conflicts now, but we're supposed to be doing Legends Con in September, and then going to be at LA Comic Con with the Army and selling some stands too. So if you want to see it in person.
Nice. Well, cool. I don't have anything other to add to that than that. Yeah, Andor next week, and Revenge of the Sith starting next week as well. I got my tickets. Are you going to be catching it in the theater once again?
I'm hoping so. Yeah, it's just I'm starting a job next week. I have a couple things going on, so I'm going to try to make the time.
Nice. Right on. Well, I hear you there, and yeah, this has been fun. Anthony, thanks so much for coming on and talking Star Wars and toys and dinosaurs and the little random topics that we managed to throw in here.
Well, thanks for having me on. And Nick, your previous guest, he was fantastic. That was actually pretty inspirational. That was great. I felt a little intimidated because I'm like, how are we going to follow that? How am I going to follow that up? Because that's just like great stuff,
Yeah, no, I agree. He was really good. I'm really happy that we got to have him on this evening because I know he's very busy with everything going on. But yeah, no, that was a blast. If anyone is tuning in and you came in at some point later in the show, definitely go back to the beginning and rewatch that whole part of the stream. That was great. thanks again to Nick from Randimals for coming on, and to Anthony from the Imperial Communique for coming on. And you and your wife are going to be at Comic-Con, right?
Yes, yeah. We just got our
Awesome.
tickets and just think we finally figured out our hotel accommodations. That's always rough.
Nice. Nice. Well, I will be there as well. So we'll definitely have to do another creator meetup like we did last year. It was very
That was
successful.
great.
A huge
Yeah,
turnout.
loved it. Yeah.
We'll do that again for sure.
I love that Phil
And
came out. That was amazing. He was cool to hang out with.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Before we end, we have one more segment that we're going to end on.
Oh no.
One final segment. Of course, we cannot end the show without doing
New acquisitions.
Oh, new acquisitions. Oh, my new acquisition. Well, I got parts. Hold on. I mean, like I said,
Yeah, you go first.
I got the Masaisi Cantina or Masaisi Streets set. So I only have the parts because the thing is in the other room. So and I got 2 to open. So really great stuff. Great accessories. So that's my newest. Wait, what else did I get? Something else in? Oh, you know what I got? They're right over here on the shelf. I got the Haya Alien, not the Alien figures, but like from the Alien movie. I'm a sucker for spacesuits, so I got Dallas, Lambert, and Kane in their spacesuits. The 3 3/4 inch too. That I just got those. They're I love them. They're fantastic. Oh, and I get Ripley too in the white suit. Hold on.
My mic was on. That was really cool. Yes, and our friends here in the chat, let us know what you've added to your collections, and we'll call them out. So I already showed my 2 Randimals earlier. I'm not going to show them again. But I did get 2, and I know I posted these on Instagram yesterday. I did get 2 Black Series figures. I'm more selective with Black Series these days, and I have been for many years. But when it comes to, my favorite character, like,
I just got handed my Streets.
Ooh, let's see it. Let's see it.
Oh, jeez. So it has a little the eye. So yeah, this is cool. This is partially 2 sets together. So yeah, I love it. I gotta get Cardboard Galaxy's floor for the sand.
Nice. Speaking of sand, here's Black Series Anakin.
Oh, nice.
He's cool. I always buy the Anakins. I always buy the Vaders. But yeah, I'm very happy with how he turned out. He's going to be a little bit blurry, but there we go. Yeah, good likeness. Nice outfit. He's got the soft goods this time around. The lightsaber is the 2013 lightsaber, so it's really old and not very adequate today, but it's kind of a minor nitpick. The legs are the old legs from 2013 once again. So again, not ideal, but I know they have done away with that Black Series hip swivel, right? So this has the hip swivel, so that's kind of nice to at least have that. But yeah, I like the figure a lot. It's a lot of fun. The other one that I received is this one's actually really, really good. I really was happy with how this guy turned out, and that's Captain Rex right here.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'm tempted with the
Come on,
clones
Captain
myself.
Rex.
Right, I'm gonna go to the shelf here and grab my alien figures. On.
Yes. So this Captain Rex, he does have the removable helmet. Pull that off. The likeness is very nice. Of course, this is Phase 1 Captain Rex. Which is nice that they come on Rex, you got it, you got this. It is nice that they did the unmasked portrait on there, but yeah, it's a really nice figure. They did a really good job with this one. I like it. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, I do have one other set of things to show. So I got some TVC figures in from Amazon. I finally got my second Lieutenant Callahan. That way I could get one to open to put inside the E-Wing.
Yeah, I'm
Another thing
waiting
I
for
haven't opened
mine.
yet. Yeah, it's weird because that wave shipped to me like already like 2 months ago
Yeah.
now, but like for whatever reason, like the singles took a long time. And then finally, speaking of, the same TVC, but different wave, I did get 4 of these guys that just showed up today. That is the Clone Trooper 501st.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it looks nice. I think it's essentially the same one as that we got before in that 4-pack with some deco variations. I'm probably going to open one right now, actually, kind of see what's different on it. But yeah, those are my acquisitions for this week.
I used to have a huge clone army myself, but I think after a while, everything became too unwieldy. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna tone down the clones. But here, I checked. I did. I grabbed my alien figures, or at least the 3 from LV-426. So hold on. Here we go. So they're just they're articulated, but they're limited in how they move. It feels like like they're actually in the spacesuits. But these are great. The helmets come off. I think the likenesses are okay, but little accessories. High is always a little bit like they're like little models. Oh, jeez, nothing ever wants to work right when you're on camera, but. Here we go. Here's
right. That's how it always
not a
is.
bad, well, but not bad likenesses. So, but very happy with them. Geeks me out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just popping out this Clone Trooper from one of the packages, so we get to hear the plastic. I just want to compare them real quick to the previous one. You do get the 2 weapons in here, so you get the long weapon and the short weapon. It's nice that you're getting both, because they could easily just give you one. And I have so many of those blasters, even if they did give us one, it wouldn't really matter. But all right, so I have here. Let me go ahead and zoom in on myself again.
I'm grabbing mine, which are right below here.
All right, I don't know if these are going to focus. Oh, actually, they did. So the one holding the blaster, you guys, that's the old one from the 4-pack, and then the one without the blaster is the new one. This one is the new one right here.
Is one of them removable helmet too, right?
No, they don't. They don't have removable helmet.
Huh.
They do not.
Oh, you know what? I'm still waiting for mine. I didn't get my single. That's still in the queue for. I got mine from Hasbro.
Crap! This is annoying, you guys. Okay. Good news or bad news? All right, let's start with the good news. The good news, this is a really nice, this is a really, really sweet figure. I don't know how close I can get with this, being able to focus. There we go. It's a really nice looking figure. It looks great. The bad news, if you got the one from the 4-pack, the blue is very close, but it's not exact. Also, the new one has glossy shoulder pads, like they're really, really. You can even without it focusing, you guys can see that, right? It's like very glossy, very, very glossy. It's like really catching the light. The shoulder pads. The old one has matte shoulder pads, and the new one also has like clear coat or gloss on the blue markings on its chest and on the helmet. These little figures are so hard to focus on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so you guys can see the gloss on there.
Yeah.
Blue has gloss. Anywhere you see blue, there's gloss. The old one is just flat all over. Like the blue markings are all flat on this guy. So that is very annoying. Not very annoying. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that bothers me. I know it's not going to bother like 90% of the people, but it is noteworthy that there is a slight difference in the two.
It's almost, it's like kind of like to me, when they kept doing TIE fighters, every release they would tweak the color of the plastic that they cast it in. I'm like, why? Why? It's
Right.
like different shades of blue.
I know. Yeah, I don't know why they chose to change it, but it looks good. I think the new one probably looks better, but just kind of a little bit annoying from an army builder standpoint.
What's
But
the
whatever.
sculpt difference? Aside from the
It's
helmet.
the same.
Well, no, the helmet. Okay. I don't know. Do
Yeah,
you think
same
they
figure.
just do that just so
slightly
that they
different
could
paint.
say it's a different release? I don't know.
No, because they like pissing us off. That's why. No, I'm sure they just made some minor tweaks to it. But Go is pretty much the same. So it's guess. Well, I guess let's go to the audience and see what they're adding to their collections lately. A little bit.
Oh, hopefully I'm not on by myself. Am I? It's frozen in time. Here we go. Hello, welcome back.
Hi.
I was
Sorry.
scared there for a second.
Yeah, my internet dipped.
I saw myself full screen without you, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, now you're in charge.
I gotta
That's
be
what
charming.
happens when that happens. Yeah, so I'm in
Wow. Hi. Yes.
I think I'm on. Am I on? I think so.
Yeah.
Kind
Now
of.
you're, gotcha. Kinda.
Let's see. Let's see if I can show this. Is it working? Is it working? Come on. Am I live?
Okay.
See me? Can you hear me? Am I?
Yeah. Ish. Little fading. Little electronic breakup. And there I am again. Everybody. How's it going, everybody? So I don't see in the chat what we're oh yeah, see, I don't see in the chat what everybody got. What everybody get? I gotta use my old man eyes here. Yeah. But yeah, if you could zoom out a little bit more, a lot of stuff is in reach. I got my clone armies down here, which I could just grab. Trying to keep everybody entertained.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try and go. I just have to. I come back.
Oh no. Here you go. What, the 501st Clone Troopers, 3 Stormtroopers. Huh. Nice. Like I said, I'm still waiting for my 501st Clone Troopers. That entire wave with one of the Anakins. Lieutenant Callahan is still waiting in the queue with Hasbro. But the Ewing is definitely in need of a pilot. So we got here. Right? Exactly. Yeah. My new acquisition is it's now Anthony's Social Hour. Welcome everybody. It's in 2 minutes it's going to be cocktail hour. Anywho, what else have we got here going on in the chat? Thank you, Adam, for about the Death Stars. Really appreciate that. One of them is from my childhood, so that I got that in the Christmas of what, 78. So that, had it with me all this time.
All right, I think I'm back, and I think you're taking care of the acquisitions pretty well. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm going to try and go through this quickly, because again, I'm hotspotting from my phone right now, and I don't know how well that's going to hold up.
So far, so good.
Let me see here. All right, so Mary says 3 501st Clone Troopers, 3 Imperial Stormtroopers, and Dr. Evazon and a Lieutenant Callahan. Very nice. Allison grabbed 3 of the new snowtroopers, TVC Krennic and Andor Han. Also sent in pre-orders for Andor and K2. Really jazzed about them. Very nice. I did pre-order those myself. 2 snowtroopers, Lieutenant Callahan for the E-Wing, and an exclusive 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back pop of Leia, Hoth control panel, and I have Hera's B-Wing Jazzware as well in route. That's a lot of stuff. I love it. Adam says, my 2 most exciting NAs are the NECA Ardath Bay with mummy accessories set, Great Boris Karloff likeness, and the Pamela Voorhees figure from Friday the 13th. I did see that. I also got some assorted TVC and Black Series figures. Dodgson, so I went to the swap meet on Sunday instead of Saturday, found myself a Lost World Stegosaurus. Ooh, damaged tail though, and Robert Muldoon for $5. My $51 eBay order came in, the Lost World Scutosaurus with Dino Tracker. Wow, that's a rare one right there. That is a very, 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 very rare one. In fact, I would say
That belongs in a museum.
very rare one right there. All right, let's see here. Who else? Dodson says, I immediately regretted it, so I decided to redeem my mistakes to go for the best deal on eBay. So I think I missed something here. Scutosaurus order cost me a pretty penny, but this has a story. I actually came across that exact same figure at a swap meet in 2023. I skipped on it because it was pricey. I'm glad you were able to get it. Once again, Dodson, that is awesome. Adam says, also just remembered that my clone trooper came in the mail today, and I left it sitting outside on my car. I got to go grab it. Yeah, you do that, Adam. You don't want to have your clone trooper swiped. 17.28 got the Howler with Sabine. And Mary says Howler. She just opened her clone trooper, and it has very glossy shoulder pads. I have not received the Howler yet. Charlie Unicorn says, no Hot Toys this week, but Heat Boys, TMNT, Mech Donatello, and 30 Robotech VF 1S Veritech. Cool.
Nice.
Series arrived. Picked up a new Black Series Rex. And let's see, what else do we?
I just saw Kanaka in the store. That's yeah, pretty nice looking figure.
Yeah, I'm going to try and speed up just a little bit because I think my internet is starting to. Let's see. Pico says having bad weather. Hope this happened last Friday too. It was a lot worse last time. It was a lot worse. It just, I don't know what was going on. Just bad internet, I guess. Let's see.
Okay. So, all right, yeah. Yeah. The clone troopers, I've not gotten the Black Series clone troopers, although I'm very tempted because they're very sharp. But you know, I only have so much room for so much stuff. Howler was at the Sabine win from Rebels. Yeah, Streets of Mos Eisley. Yeah. Oh yeah. Streets of Mos Eisley. I hope you're happy with it. I am. It's very cool. Happy with those sets. No, I'm not. Thank you. Thanks, Dodgson. But I believe it or not, I have performance anxiety pretty bad. So, improv is not my strong suit. The update. What else we got back here? Oh yeah. Pico B1, that's just 2 Death Stars back there. Yeah, I want to have more. I'd love to. I've seen those dioramas where people, I think there's 7 that complete one, and I'm very tempted to pick up more, but I can only fit 2 on the shelf here right now.
All right, I think I'm back, hopefully. All right, so I cannot unpick that comment for whatever reason. Anyway, I think we need to go ahead and end it. I don't want to keep torturing people with that's not cool. It's annoying for everybody. But thank you.
Okay. All right, let's scroll back a little bit more. Let's go through some of these comments. How many Death Stars? Milky Way Skywalker. Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I sorry I have to lean in here so you can see my bald spot here to read, but I wasn't prepared.
All right, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and end it right here. Thank you, Anthony, for taking over. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you to Nick from Randimals for coming on earlier. We appreciate you guys. I'm gonna have to investigate this a little further and see if we keep having this issue, but appreciate your patience and you guys being here. Thank you for coming in on a Wednesday night to hang out with us. No matter where you're tuning in from on the galaxy. Thank you for watching Cantina Social Hour. We'll see you next Friday, next week at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Be well, be safe. May the force be with you. And we will see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody. Hello. Got some audio.